Is it on for sure? We need to double check.
I know. The only way for me to check is like this will like confirm that.
Oh, because it's moving.
Yeah, and then I have to check that it's moving on here, but that it matches on there.
Got it.
But yeah, it should be good.
Boy, the requests for maybe the biggest thing we have is requests for my music. Gonna have to tell everybody, Spotify, we love to hate Adam with the number 2 is my Spotify. And I've been building, what you hear is my metal list, but I've been building a more workout list here I'm working on for everybody. So quick note on Keon or just in the aminos. So it's interesting, this whole journey, early on, I was low protein. And so I obviously was taking this 3 times a day consistently. I started to scale the protein up. I scaled back on instead of 3 times a day, 2 times a day, and then kind of 1 time a day. I even had some days where I didn't even take it because I was pushing 220 grams of protein. So that's kind of my rule. If I hit 220 or above, I don't really worry about the EAAs. If I hit under that just a little bit, I'm probably taking them once or twice. And then if I was really low, I was trying to take it 3 times. But we are now in a cut officially. So this week is the beginning of a cut for me. And one of the things that Angelo was talking about when he was on the podcast was even if you're hitting your protein intake, they've shown benefits on these studies of still taking the EAAs when in a calorie deficit. So now that I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm back to taking these 3 times a day. And I'm going to do that for this week while we're on a cut. And then I'll probably go back. So just a heads up on what's going on. So I don't know how this always happens to me, but today's leg day. Tomorrow I'm getting on a 6-hour plane ride. Always do this to myself. That is like the recipe for tight hips, low back, driving me crazy is train legs hard, go on a plane the next day. Terrible idea. So what I might do today is take it kind of easy on the legs. I definitely don't want to crush them. I don't think we're going to push PR weight today for sure. PR is in what we've been doing here. Since Jerry stole my mat, I'll go ahead and just do it on the ground over here. Is that for me there, Vanna?
Yes.
Did you guys say that Cole is supposed to be in charge of all the hate on YouTube?
Yeah.
Did we delegate that to him? That's your job. That's your new job, Cole. It's like taking out the trash. When you're the rookie, when you're the new guy, you got to take out all the trash and do all the bitch work. The new bitch work working for the media company is talking to all the trolls on YouTube. So it's going to be Cole's new bitch work that he's got to do around here. Is you got to handle all the trolls.
It's actually kind of fun.
We'll have to create. You have to pull like a Kevin Durant. We'll make some fake profiles, and we'll go in there and start messing with people. Man, I had a guy yesterday that boy was he just fired up. Just for sure thought we were lying. We're definitely lying. Not gonna lie, I wish what I was really doing today is driving our race cars over there. Would that be funny? The videos turned that way, you know? Like, today we're not gonna get a lift in. Today we're gonna race around the Newbring for a little bit. I'm super excited. Yeah. You say, hey, the first time I did those things, I was definitely sweating. Definitely a workout. I've seen some crazy stats actually on the amount of calories that race car drivers burn. It's crazy. Oh yeah, they lose like 10, 15 pounds in like the Indy 500 and stuff like that. Yeah, the amount of weight they lose in that. A lot, right? A lot of it is water weight and sweat, of course, right? It's not like you're burning that much body fat.
What, adrenaline?
Yeah, a little bit of everything, right? Adrenaline, like just think of how much your central nervous system is firing to be that. Have you ever seen those cool videos of like some of those Indy drivers coming around a corner or something like that, and then a car stopped, and then their reaction time, like the whole time, you're completely tense the whole time.
Would you say like what is it called, the G-force too? Just
Yeah.
From the speed, like.
Yeah, the isometrics, the core contraction and stability the entire time. Like, oh yeah, no, you're definitely. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, when we go on our little rallies and stuff like that with my buddies and we're driving like that, I get out, I'm hot, I'm tired. I mean, it's Yeah. No, they're definitely those pro drive. They're athletes. It's a different sport, but you're an athlete still. Yeah. Totally. Oh, I imagine too nowadays, because of the understanding of the science and stuff like that, I bet most of these guys have a pretty strict regimen when it comes to training and diet, you know? There's always the exception to the rules, right? There's always the John Daly's of golf or so I'm sure there's a driver who smokes cigarettes, drinks beer, and doesn't do a lot of it and it still does okay. But probably I would make the case that probably most of them are pretty elite and figured that all out, you know? I've seen a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it. Yeah.
Funny to see the comparisons of like the guys who are in there every day with their trainer taking it seriously, and the guys that are kind of like, whatever, like I'm just here kind of years.
Yep.
But it shows the difference too between the top players, like top 10 players and top 50 players.
You know, what it really highlights in professional sports is, first of all, genetics play the biggest role. So there's genetic anomalies, right? You have these superhumans that have the gene that are just more athletic, more gifted, they can build more muscle, they're quicker than everybody else. And that can put you in a very unique, small category of people that makes you a pro. And so, but then there's another small percentage of those that actually train and take it to the whole another level. And that makes a difference, makes them into these superstars, right? And you kind of have to have, in order to be the Michael Jordans or these, the GOATs of whatever sport. So it's a combo of genes and talent and work ethic, all together. So I'm not going to lie, I'm really not looking forward to flying all the way to Florida. Of all the trips I've done, this will be the most challenging of all of them because the time zone, going all the way across the U.S. and that automatically is going to mess with the sleep. You lose a day pretty much both there and back of traveling. So in an airport, not the greatest choices of food, not moving a lot. So really when I think about preparing myself for, a break like this, so let's say we fly Wednesday, I don't get back till Saturday night. So basically Wednesday to Sunday, I'm off now, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday's my first day, I could potentially get back to training. Now I hope I can at least squeeze one workout in there because I got Sal and Sal's addicted to training. I'll hopefully be able to piggyback off of him and follow him one day and go maybe hit a gym if I can. That would be a huge accomplishment to get one workout in while I'm gone. But the bare minimum, what we want to do is make sure we hit those protein targets and then at least stay active walking. Now, the Oura Ring is back and I'm back to tracking my steps. And so what I want to do on a 4 or 5 day stretch where I may not get to the gym, I may have a hard time getting good food choices, I'm not making my meals, to make up for what extra calories I may eat by accident, right, by not being able to precisely track, and also the loss of training activity, I'll also try and increase my steps by like 2,000 a day. So if I'm averaging, let's say, 8,000 steps a day, then I'll try and make a conscious effort to pick that up to like 10,000 for those days that I'm gone. That way, whatever potential calories that I overconsume, hopefully I burn off with a little bit extra activity. And so the goal really is just to not go backwards these next few days. We're not going to make much progress. I've accepted that. When you start to affect sleep and the travel and then the not working out. But I mean, I don't know, for the viewer, I guess this is about as real as you can get, right? Hopefully most people that are following the journey, they don't have to travel 3 out of the 4 weeks because it's not making this easy. And I tell you, if I was competing, I wouldn't do this. I would opt out of at least 2 of these 3 trips. Maybe 1 here and there, but back to back to back to back is just makes it really, really tough. The advantage we still have is we still have a lot of muscle that we still need to build, and I still have a lot of muscle memory working in my favor, but eventually we're going to start running out of that secret sauce. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some box squats. And the reason why I'm going to do box squats is the last time we squatted, I went 275 for 5s for a couple sets. And boy, it really taxed my hips. And I think it's just because I probably didn't prime as well as I should have. 2, I went real heavy, and really got after it more than I need to, that deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten the range up for just this workout. I wouldn't do this consistently, but I'm gonna do some box squats and
some Sal squats.
Huh?
Some Sal squats.
Yeah, Sal does a lot, huh?
Yeah.
So
I've only ever seen him do box squats, really.
He's a wuss. That's why. You know why? Because he can lift a bunch of weight on box squats. That's why. Because it's tough to go deep, especially for 6'3" guy getting all the way down there, getting out of that hole.
Hey Adam, did you see Jeff Nippard get assaulted?
I talked about it on the podcast today.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
It was. I watched the whole video and everything. I see he went and got like a CAT scan too, setting up the lawsuit.
Yeah,
That's what that is. Yeah. That's definitely setting up a lawsuit. And you know what that is? That's like 2 different types of insecurities.
Yeah.
You have the guy who's got the little guy who's the science nerd, who his way of bullying people is through being, I'm smarter than you, using studies to put you down and punk you. Then you have the Mike Van Wyck guy or whatever, who's the, insecure guy who got overly juiced out giant dude who's still a little man inside, like running into each other, like recipe for disaster right there.
Yeah, that's actually a great breakdown. That's probably so true.
Totally. Bunch of insecure dudes in different ways. Now I know a bunch of people are going to side with Jeff Nippard because he was the one who was attacked, and understandably, but I don't know. Some of his content, he can come off smug to me.
Yeah.
I feel like Cole will be. Are you a big Nippard fan? Are you a big Jeff Nippard fan?
I like it.
Yeah, Danny would like him too. I know. I mean, if you're like really into the heavy science stuff, you typically like his stuff. He's definitely science based, and he's smart, knows his stuff. I think the things that we always try to communicate with that is there's a balance of understanding the studies and the science, and then real world application and all the other intangible things that the studies doesn't account for a lot of times. So we just talked about that today. Like that group of trainers that love to tout all the studies, love to tell people who say you can speed your metabolism up by building 10 pounds of muscle, and they try and shit all over that by saying, oh, well, 1 pound of muscle only burns 7 more calories. So adding 10 pounds is only going to be 70 calories a day. Okay, well, that's great based off of that study where you extrapolate just this piece of muscle, but it doesn't account for all the other variables. And it's like, I know from firsthand, from training for over 2.5 decades of all the people that I've helped, that if I take a girl and I build 10 pounds of muscle on her, a lot of times she can eat 500 to 700 more calories a day and not get put on body fat. So that just blows that study out of the way. So what's going on there? Well, there's more being accounted for than just the muscle burning more calories. Their hormone profile's better. They're probably sleeping better. They're probably more active. They're stronger. They're probably progressively overloading. So taking that study and using that to punk other people that talk about speeding the metabolism up is just one of the things I can't stand about the science community.
Yeah. Well, it's like, what's the end result of that message too? It's like, oh, I guess I'm not going to build muscle.
Well, and that's the reason why I get irritated with that stuff. Is like, what's your desired outcome? Just to sound, you want to sound smarter than somebody else, and meanwhile, you lose 80% of the people that you claim you're trying to help. Like if you're true, and the only people that are going to get behind you and be like, yeah, are all the other science nerds that just want to bully all the people that are bro science. It's like, bro. Meanwhile, you guys are losing 80% of the population that just started lifting weights because they thought that was going to help speed their metabolism up. Now they think, oh, I've been lied to. If I go build 5 pounds of muscle, it's not really going to make that big of a difference, so why am I doing it? Right. It's a terrible message. Is Sal using the PRX or does he just use a bench? Which one does he use? Is one probably the better one? Whichever one's probably the most stable here. been how many days? When did we train our legs last? What day did you and I shoot last?
Friday.
Friday? My quads just feel tighter than usual. Might do a little bit of body weight lunges to warm them up better. Is that the bench you use for bench squats?
Oh, when I just go down? I can use any of them.
It doesn't matter. I haven't done bench squats in forever. I'm pretty hydrated. You ever get like that when sometimes you feel like you get under your squats? It almost feels like my quads are gonna tear. They feel so tight. But they didn't feel that way until I got under the bar. So weird. And I trained the legs last.
Hydrated?
That's exactly what I was just asking myself. Like, I'm hydrated. I've already had a full LMNT. I've already had 3 waters. So, but that's exactly what I thought, the same thing, bro. Strange. See what happens after. I'm gonna do some body weight lunges. Get better.
Do static stretch with the quads too.
That's why I was just doing that right before this. So for the audience, this is not really part of the workout right now. It's more me doing a little bit of a dynamic warm up right now because my quads just feel overly tight. And they shouldn't feel that way. You know what it is, Sal? I'm just getting too much muscle. You know what? It's just too much muscle. Either that or it's all those steroids I'm taking. Is that from is that what happens when you shoot tren in your quad?
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
The gorilla roids.
Yeah. Somebody was tagging Derek from More Plates, More Dates to do like a whole blood panel on me. Yeah. But I mean, he's gonna find the testosterone that I admit that I'm taking, so I don't know what else you think he's gonna find.
You might find some other stuff that's not muscle building.
Yeah, see, that's right.
Don't let him test me.
Yeah. He's like, what is all this? This guy's in there.
Meth games.
Kyle.
Well, dynamic would be better. You saw me do a little bit of static. The only problem with doing too much static in that situation is I don't want the quads to fully relax. So, especially when I'm gonna go put demand on them. Because we're doing such lightweight, I'm less worried about that. Like, let's say today was a day where I really wanted to go close to max or pushing 275 plus. I definitely wouldn't want to do a static stretch. I did a little bit of one and then I did dynamic. I'm less worried about that. We're moving 185 pounds. So not that big of a deal for me to do static. The problem with static stretching before you lift is that you're basically telling the muscles to relax. Now, if they're overly tight, that's why Sal said that, maybe do a static stretch on them because maybe they're so tense and so tight still that I need to relax them a little bit. But I can get that from a dynamic movement too. Static would be after I work out today, I should do a static hold for sure. Sometimes too, I got to get them warmed up more, you know. I'm not 20 years old anymore where I could just get under the bar anymore. And once I feel like I get some blood and fluid in there, they feel okay. But it's that initial when they're cold and stiff and hard. We'll see. I bet you by the third set we'll be feeling good again. We'll see what this feels like right here. Yeah, see already that's feeling better. Not 100, but better. It's funny, part of me wonders too, it's just been the increased volume. I'm questioning whether I should have stayed the course with MAPS 15 a little bit longer. We'll see. Yeah, a little bit better already. So think part of just getting warm sometimes. I guess it just takes way longer for me to. I feel that way sometimes, but I think what it is in the back of my head, because I've had that kind of popping, tearing feeling from not being hydrated. So that's always like the fear. But already doing walking lunges, static holds, some little bit of stretching, and then doing another warm-up set. It already feels better. I have a feeling by this set it'll start to. So I don't know what that is or how to explain that. But I mean, they shouldn't even be that. We trained on. This was Friday. So today's Tuesday.
We're gonna sit on the plane tomorrow.
I know, fuck. This is what I said when I was warming up. I'm like, I don't know how I do this, or I train legs, right? Yeah, leg day right before a flight. So I'm gonna take it easier though today. I won't go
I'm gonna
crazy.
try and train tomorrow.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Before, huh?
Yeah.
What time are you gonna get here?
6:30, 6:20.
Maybe I'll get crazy. It would set my trip up. It would set me up for having a better trip.
That's a great picture.
You look younger now.
Well, you know why? That's after like a week of drinking. I mean, I'm serious. Every night in London we were eating smash. Justin looked healthier because alcohol apparently is good for him.
Take that workout in.
So, like, this is some of the templates they have there. It's like you create these like
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
just make like a,
All right, if I get crazy, I will. I'll decide it tonight for sure. Because honestly, that would set my week up much better. Because anyway, hit that workout in. That's tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So then only 3 days off in a row. And if I could actually get one with Sal, like a hotel workout, even if it's like a wussy one, that wouldn't be a bad situation. Maybe I will get up tomorrow. We'll see.
You want more views real quick?
Yeah. Go flex in the camera.
It's cold.
So tempted to go heavier because that was pretty easy. But I might stay. Might stay and get 2 more working sets. So we got good 3 sets of the 225. And then I'll do some RDLs. And then we'll touch arms and call it a day. You know, it's funny, I saw some comments about how there's like no methodology behind the training. Like I just pick some random exercises and go. I guess maybe that's my fault for making it look that way. But when I know what I need to do as far as kind of overall volume for my legs, for my upper body, and I know what I've done the last week, I go into the workout and I want to make sure that I get 1 or 2 really good big bang for your buck exercises. Now those can be a lot of different things, like barbell back squats aren't the only great legs I could have done. I could have done Bulgarian split squats today. Could have done some walking lunges. Could have done front squats. The reason why I didn't do that, actually what I want to do front squats, but still the front rack position with my shoulder and chest kind of compromises that a little bit. So that's the reason why I haven't done front squats yet. So, I mean, of course I could have done a handful of things like that, but a lot of the decisions I'm playing off of how I feel, right? And I'm trying my best to communicate with the audience when I notice that I've overreached or I feel something off a little bit. And when you feel those things, you want to address it, and you don't want to just power through the workout and think the idea, no pain, no gain. It's a terrible way to approach the training session. So I apologize if I make it look like it's super random, but it's not that random. I'm aware of what I've trained previously, what I need to train in the week, and then also factoring in how I currently feel. It's always this kind of beautiful dance of, calories, rest, intensity, volume. And again, the real message behind this whole series is to really teach people that The goal is to do as little as possible to elicit the most amount of change. I definitely could do other things right now that could be more challenging, more difficult for my legs, but I don't necessarily need to do that. So why? I'll save those for later down the road, breaking plateaus. Especially in my situation, right? Because I have so much muscle that I've lost and I'm trying to get back. This might be different if you were following me along and fast forward a year and I haven't missed a gym workout. I've been training consistently for a year. I'm back to, 230 pounds, lean and jacked, and now you're watching my workouts. Well, they wouldn't look like this, because to reach that level and go beyond that level, I will have had to scale up and have done more things. But currently where we're at, coming back from a 4-month layoff, coming back from an injury, coming back from, several years of losing muscle, and then the GLP-1s losing even more muscle. The goal is to do as little as possible to elicit the most change. And so that's what you see right now. It's not me just randomly picking just random exercises and then seeing these phenomenal results. I appreciate, though, people thinking it's that easy, right? Okay. Well, felt something pop in my quad right there. Well, you're about to see me call another audible. A nice pop right there. Thank God it wasn't a bad one.
I'm gonna do a little research for you.
See, too, if it's related to anything going on, like with my TFL and IT, because my TFL and IT are really tight, and it's all in that hip flexor area.
So I'm gonna look. I'm looking at autoimmune nervous system
Oh, interesting.
issues. Yeah, because
I've been
been getting injured.
I've also been battling that same issue for a long, long time. And it always is when I start catching really good momentum and as the strength gains start coming on pretty fast in my quads. And then this is what I always end up having to do, is I have to kind of pull back and do more mobility, higher rep type stuff. So it's interesting. It's the same side. I've dealt with this like many times. And it's a weird feeling. It feels like something pops. It doesn't feel like a tear. And I've done it before with more weight, and it's a harder pop, and then it hurts afterwards. But now it just feels like I have a Charlie horse in my quad. I've felt that enough times to be careful to know better. An old or young version of me ignores that and goes until it really gets hurt. Older, wiser me knows better. Where's my lacrosse ball? I know I saw it laying around here. Oh, we're definitely getting into it right there. I'll tell you, one of the most frustrating things as being a trainer, knowing the human body and knowing your own body really, really well, but yet still struggling to figure shit out. This is an area that I've had issues with before. It's my left side. It's always in the kind of quad hip flexor area. And in the past, I've noticed it like when I'm not hydrated enough. I'm obviously hydrated plenty, and I've been drinking a lot of water and sodium, so it's not that. I did notice, though, like I've had a lot of issues the last week after I had that real heavy, deep squats. And my TFL, IT have all been really, really tight. Katrina's been trying to work it out. So I kind of already knew that I was going to have to take it easier today. I thought maybe doing the box squats would solve that for me. But releasing that already feels a little bit better. But we're going to stay away from my quads the rest of the workout. We'll go back to posterior chain. I'll do some RDLs, and then we'll get to the arms. But part of it, man. This is also one of the drawbacks of not having like a big gym where I've got machines. This is where machines would be really nice. This is where I would have probably chose to do something like a leg press, leg extension, something really easier on the body. And just got a little pump on the legs. I hit that lacrosse ball in there, give it a little bit of relief. Helps a little bit, but it's still, you know, it's last week when I hit 275 in a 5x5 block, really heavy and deep. Oh, my hips. Oh my, I had so much hip pain for like a week. I had Katrina working it all out. Finally started feeling better today, but knew that I'm still not all the way better. So I was like, okay, I'll do box squats. And then it's like, it just shifted the stress from IT, TFL, hip area over into that quad area. And it's the same spot. It's the same spot I've injured it multiple times. And it's so hard to wrap my brain around what it is. It almost feels like there's muscles that are like entangled, and then it's like they pops and release. It's such a weird feeling to describe. And I've gone down the rabbit hole trying to like research it myself and figure it out. And the best thing I ever came up with before was the hydration. And I knew I was dehydrated. And then when I started hydrating really good again, I didn't notice it come back for a long time. But same spot, same fucking issue. And it is when I start ramping up, when I like quick, right? I mean, we went from 135 squatting, I'm already up to 275, and I probably should have just, stayed there for a little while, and super annoying, dude. Like a broken old man. When shit like this happens, reminds me of why I always like being the guy who said all show no go, where I preferred just chasing aesthetically how I look. It's so much easier than performance and pushing the weight all the time. Y'all wanted real, huh? You got it. What we'll have to do is definitely have to take it easy when I'm doing quad work for the next couple weeks. Be more unilateral stuff, walking lunges, Bulgarians. What I almost did today, which now I wish I would have done it, was those kettlebell Cossack squats I did the other day. Those felt really good. So I'm going to pivot into some more dynamic mobility, unilateral work, stuff that will challenge the stability, strength side versus me just trying to pack on. It's a bummer because obviously part of what I'm trying to do right now is gain as much muscle as possibly fast, or as possibly fast as I possibly can. And doing heavy loaded squats is one of the recipes for that. I think I'm most annoyed because I haven't been able to solve this issue for a long time. Let's see if the wife can fix me up. more of those.
About to make everybody uncomfortable in here, man.
Why are you doing?
Beginning of the song.
Oh, yeah.
I played this song one time, and all these conference people from this church were walking down my
Oh,
street.
God. Oh, God.
That was an awkward moment.
That song goes back to when I was in high school. It was a popular song everybody played in their car. Back when stereo systems were getting big. It's one of my favorite workout songs, too. Well, motherfucker, Dylan. I mean, you know, this also highlights, too, like how much, you know, diet, when it comes to aesthetics, like, this is definitely going to put a hinder on me getting strong fast, for sure, but we can still sculpt and build a physique with a broken chest, a fucked up shoulder, and a handicapped quad. Oh, God. Ugh. Embarrassing. And it just, it compounds as you get older, for sure. You know? And a lot of that, too, is like, if you think of like building horsepower in a car, right? Like, when the car is stock and you push its limits with the engine, it's designed, its suspension, its chassis, its rear end, its motor mounts, they're all designed to handle that horsepower, so they handle it right. Now, as you continue to build and build and build more muscle, you build that horsepower, and then and think of the joints and ligaments on the body, like the chassis and the rear end and the motor mounts to the car. You know, over decades of training and lifting, you know, I've turned myself in from this 175, 180 pound, 6'3" skinny kid into a 220 something pound big meathead. And so I've got the muscles, so I've got the horsepower that I've built in this thing, but I still got the same old joints and ligaments that I had, that I started this whole beast on, right? So, and because of that, and now that I'm older, I have to be very mindful that when I was younger, my body was a little more resilient to handle the beating. But, you know, wakeboarding accident gets me, pushing the weight real fast. I mean, it took me 10 years of my lifting career as a young man to get over 225 pounds. So think about that, like 10 years of consistently lifting before I even saw over 225 pounds on the squats, how small and weak and little I was, where you just watched me go from squatting 135, and here we are a month and a half later, and I'm throwing 275 on the bar for deep squats. And it's just like, you know, come on, I should know better. But of course, trying to impress the camera on how much muscle I can pack on as fast as I can. So that's what I get. I'm gonna superset some curls and skull crushers. Just touch my arms. Just get 3 sets of each. so hard not to be fucking super annoyed right now. I do know though how setbacks like this is what really can cause someone to spiral out. And you know, again, my point about the diet and stuff, there's such the way we eat and the way we feed our body, especially when it comes to aesthetics. Obviously, my performance will be hindered. I won't be as strong right now, but we've already come a long way with changing our physique aesthetically, that we can still bare minimum maintain the work that we've already done. So you gotta check myself that I don't get too discouraged and too frustrated. This is not a throw your hands up and fucking quit. It's just a my body telling me I gotta take it easy. Back when Justin's grill was all fucked up. That's in Doug's house right there. Early days.
Yeah, I like the Packers blanket as your.
Yeah. Woke up feeling lean today. So funny too when you're pushing calories. It's so hard to bulk. It feels like you're stuffing yourself to bulk. And then when you go on a cut, you feel like you're starving. So funny how the body, right, that homeostasis it wants, and anywhere north or south, it feels way more extreme than what it is. We are eating we averaged 3,600 calories a day all of last week at the end of the bulk. And yesterday, I hit 2,900. Like 2,800 to 3,000 is where I want to be. And God, I was so hungry last night. I was dreaming about food. Anytime I dream about food, that's when I know I'm on a diet. Also, important people know that, like, you know, when you're training and you've built the metabolism up like that and it's starting to roar and you go on a little cut, you start to reduce calories. It's very normal to have that appetite, that feeling of hunger. You have to learn to sit with that and be comfortable. You're not going to die. You're not starving. But that metabolism is roaring. And I've always communicated to my clients, that feeling that you feel is your body shifting over from using glycogen as fuel to now shifting over to using fat. And so the way I would motivate my clients when that hunger, that appetite hits them at 8 o'clock at night and they're watching Netflix and they know they can't eat anymore for the night because they've hit their calorie budget for the day, and they have that feeling, I tell them, here's the cool part is you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix and your body is just metabolizing fat. So you're getting leaner watching your favorite, you know, trash TV. So it's a way to motivate yourself when you have that feeling. I've always taught myself to think that way when I'm laying there. It's like, hey, I'm getting leaner by the minute. I think I might do one more. Get one more round. Said 3, I'm gonna do 4 now. One more for good measure. As we get leaner, the road maps come out. Oh, God. Whew, forearms. It's a wrap.